I worked with George for about a year, and he's my past mechanic. During that time, I've seen him be nothing but upfront and honest with his customers, and whenever issues did arise, he would always act with the customer's best interest in mind. He's a top bloke, and I trust him with an open checkbook.
When does a recommendation become a scam?
When they recommend something you don't need.
If I got my Prius inspected by 7 mechanics, and one of them said that I needed shocks, what are the odds that they're trying to scam me?
7 different mechanics, and only one said you needed shocks?
Yeah.
The odds, that's I would say 70%, probably 80% that they're scamming you.
Right.
Yeah.
If my brake pads had 33% of the pad left, you could argue that a recommendation is fair, even though they might last another year. How would you handle this situation?
Okay, first of all, I would try to figure out how much the person drives, whatever car is coming off of, how many miles get put on it, and that'll tell you, how long the 33% would last. I normally recommend after 20%, and I would advise, the customer, you got 32%, so maybe we need to check another 6 months.
Right. If a customer's air conditioning isn't working, is adding Freon a solution?
It depends. If it's not working and you need to add Freon, it means you have a leak. So the first thing I would recommend is do a leak check. Vacuum down, leak check to see if you have a leak. If you don't have a leak, then you go ahead and recommend Freon. But Freon is not used like gasoline or anything like that. Freon is like brake fluid. If it's low, it means it's leaking. So I would always recommend before adding Freon, because you don't want to waste your money putting Freon in and 2 weeks later it's gone again. I would always recommend let's do a leak check before we add Freon in.
Got it. Are your mechanics paid on a salary or a flat rate?
My mechanics are paid on a salary.
What percentage of mechanics do you think are honest?
I'm a mechanic, so I don't want to disparage mechanics, but I would say 60.
I bring a car to you where the power steering has stopped working and I ask for a quote. What do you say to me and what do you do next?
Well, I would give you a price for a diagnostic to check the car and tell you what's going on. First place I would look, that if you agree to the diagnostic charge, is your belts. The next place I would look to see if you're leaking power steering fluid. And then if you're not either one of those, it's going to be either your pump or recommended. 99% of the time it's the pump.
What's the pump?
It's the pump if it's not the belt.
Can a power steering belt come off due to age?
Yeah, due to age, it will pop open because they dry rot as rubber after a while. If you have say you have the idler pulley or another pulley that's wobbling or the pulley go bad, it'll cause the pump to jump off. Cause the belt.
Interference, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something else could cause it that has nothing to do with the pump.
All right. So I did that test. I actually took the car in without the belt. What do you think of that as a test for mechanics' honesty? Is that a decent test or not?
That is a decent test. That's actually a good test because actually you know exactly what's wrong with it.
Do you have any advice that would help a shop receive less one-star reviews?
I would have a front person, a person that deals with the customer, as courteous, business-like. That the person has someone to go to talk to. You need to have one knowledgeable person up front that is courteous and could answer the customer's question. And most of the 1 star is bad customer service. Because most of the time, even if the shop messes up and you have a good person up front that apologizes and make up for it, they won't give you a 1 star.
Right. Does that person need to know about cars?
Yes. A little bit of knowledge. Yes.
Do you have any guidance for normal people to help navigate recommendations to avoid being scammed?
The first guidance I would have is find a mechanic that you think you trust and stick with that mechanic. Do not jump around to different shops because you never know. You could hold one person responsible. You can't hold 3-4 people responsible.
Right.
So that's going to be my first recommendation is to stick with one person, someone that you feel connected to or somebody that your mind tells you that this is an honest person. They didn't give you any reason not for you to believe that he's dishonest, and stick to that person. Right?
Can customers rely on reviews to find honest mechanics?
Sometimes, because there's a way to manipulate reviews too. You could have a shop with friends that just call in and give the excellent reviews.
Right. What is the best way to find a new mechanic?
Word of mouth. First of all, you check with your friends and find out if they know somebody that they trust. That's the best way. You know, because if you know somebody that could vouch for a mechanic, then that's the best way to go.
Do you have any ideas for future honesty tests that people can do to test if their mechanic is honest?
One of the things that I would do that is you can mark a bolt. Say you want that part needs changing, but it doesn't not really need changing. You mark the bolts, and if we come back and the mark said and it's not moved, then you know
they haven't tightened it loose. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I do have some money for you. It's $50 there.
Appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you.